Hi everyone, hope you're doing good, and it's time for Warrior in the Clouds Part 2. The second half of the Warrior project will be releasing this Friday, the 25th of August 2023. Super excited. It's going to be available to listen to on my YouTube channel, all streaming services, Bandcamp, Submit Hub and SoundCloud. The EP will be available to pre-save right now. The date was yesterday, the 19th of August, and it's coming out on the 20th of August. So yeah, 5 days time it'll be coming out. Once again, I'll be doing a small CD run on Bandcamp, selling them on Bandcamp. I'll be doing 40 copies, and basically in this video, similar to what I did last year, this video I'm going to be stating absolutely everything you need to know about the release before it comes out on Friday. So yeah, if you're not subscribed, please get subscribed before Friday's release. You definitely do not want to miss this release. And without any further ado, let's get straight into it. Firstly, before we get into talking about the album, I just want to do a couple of thank yous and some shout outs. So firstly, I want to just thank my parents, my mum and dad, for letting me do this and allowing me to fulfill my dream and passion for music. Also my friends in and out of the VC as well, for showing me so much great support over the last year, and you know, since the release of part 1 last year as well. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate all the new subscribers that I've gained over the last month or year. Whatever, I'm up to 322 as I do this video right now, and I'm really grateful to all of you guys that subscribe. Also my friend Euan, who we'll talk about later, he did a guest guitar solo on one of the songs, and also my other really awesome friends Alfie and Kim of their band Lilac Fall, for all the help and support that they've given me throughout the process of making this whole project. So none of this would be possible without those guys. So yeah, I really am grateful for those guys for all their help. And lastly, I'm going to dedicate this half of the Warrior EP to my late cat who passed away, Sam. He passed away in January, as I touched on before. And yeah, it was a really sad time when I lost him. And yeah, this is going to be dedicated to him. The main aim of this project was pretty much started last year really, when I released part 1, and it did really well. It had a really good success in terms of interviews and reviews, and you know, the amount of CD sales that I got as well. But this project, this whole Warrior in the Clouds project, was always meant to be 12 tracks. So it's great to finally be able to have it complete as it was originally intended. And yeah, so this second part, I tried to keep it similar to part 1, but also having things done a little bit different. I took things on board from the first release to help improve the tracks and help improve the EP as a whole. And yeah, with this whole project, I just wanted to help. I wanted it to help me get myself out there as a young musician with a lot of potential, see where it takes me, hopefully get a label interest. So that was basically the main aim of this, just to complete the whole project as best as I could really. You know, I wanted it to get it sounding as close as I wanted it to sound like, and I feel like that we've done that. This is also the first project in a trilogy of solo projects that I've got planned to release in the future, with this first one being based mostly on my influences growing up. This project will also set up the story of my trilogy, and basically the story about the Cloud Warriors, but we'll get into that in a future video, I'm sure, especially with the future projects that I have lined up, that they'll be a bit more branched out and a little bit more progressive. The writing on this album is pretty much the same as part 1. I originally wrote all these tracks between the ages 15 to 19, and then over the last few years, since like 2020 to now, they've basically developed into what they are today. Again, they're inspired by music that I was listening to at the time, and you know, the idea basically spawned from me simply playing guitar, listening to my influences, and they grew from that. The songs are a mix of happy, upbeat, dark, menacing, groovy, fun, and sad. There's a mixture, let's say. In one particular song, it means quite a lot to me, that song, and it does get quite emotional in places, as I wrote that song during a pretty bad time in my life, which I'm not really going to go into, but it definitely conveys that in the song. The musical style of this EP, again, is going to be similar to part 1, but it does have its differences as well. Again, it's an instrumental project, so I know some people will be a bit disappointed with that, because, you know, some people just prefer music with vocals on, but it is what it is. It's my solo project, it's what I want my solo projects to be, for the most part, instrumental, so it is what it is. The main genres that I call this project are instrumental rock / metal, with some heavy metal and some thrash metal. However, there is a track that is bluesy influenced, as well as one with some classical influences, and then there's a song that's also got some progressive folk influences in there as well. My biggest influences for this project include Metallica, Megadeth, Maiden, Satriani, Marty Friedman, Gary Moore, Led Zeppelin, Pantera, Sepultura, Exodus, and Slayer. Now I'm going to talk about the new and updated artwork for this EP. Now, I've already explained the meaning and story behind the artwork. You got to see the video for part 1 for that, but it's basically about this Cloud Warrior image that I found on an advert on the TV, and thought it'd be a really good album cover. And yeah, I basically, from there, I created this whole story around the Cloud Warriors, and you know, it will be told throughout the trilogy of projects. So yeah, my idea for part 2 artwork is basically an inversion of part 1 artwork. Mainly the back of the CD cover for part 1. I basically wanted it to have the same look and feel as the first part, like it's in the same world and the same universe. So yeah, I basically used my improved Photoshop skills to you know, improve upon what I've done before, and I'm pretty happy with the result. And here is a picture of the artwork. You may have already seen it in some of the videos. I sort of teased it a little bit, but yeah, again, I had a clear vision of what I wanted it to look like. Basically being like an inversion of the part 1 artwork, back cover, and yeah, I got some assistance finishing it off from my friend Sam, and he helped me a lot with the complete edition artwork as well, which I will show right now. And basically the complete edition is basically part 1 and 2 together, how it was supposed to be, but we'll get onto that in a bit. But I'm going to just talk briefly on the complete edition. It's basically, the artwork was inspired by a combination of both parts put together. You know, it's what I had envisioned the original to look like, but obviously it's got improved now. It's got an improved Cloud Warrior and extra details in the background that I would never have been able to do. So I really appreciate Sam for basically not designing, but fulfilling the album artwork for me. I really appreciate it, and yeah, he did a fantastic job with it. Now I'm going to talk about the CD cover, and I've got one here to show. Hopefully it will look alright. So that's the front that's back, and that's the inside. So yeah, for this I wanted it to be basically an inversion of the part 1 CD. The back cover here, I took that from the Your Delusion single artwork, and also the inside cover is another inversion of the part 1 CD. I've basically swapped everything around, so it's got that sort of symmetrical look. And this time I did remember all the details, so at the bottom here I put for the whole Warrior project, dedicated to my nan Sheila and the cat as well. So yeah, it was a lot easier to make these CDs than last time because I just used my prior knowledge to speed up the process. In terms of the artwork, I've basically used all the same stuff as part 1, Photoshop as well. I use similar techniques, but I also have learned a couple of new things over the time, just to improve it all and make it all look better, make the font stand out a bit more, and everything like that. So I pretty much used a similar sort of stuff to the first part, but improved on it pretty massively. Now I'm going to talk about the recording process, and again, the same as part 1, I wanted to make the most professional product and the best sounding product I could with the resources that I have. I wanted them to have a similar feel to part 1 to make it sound like it's from the same project, but also to make it sound a little improved. And yeah, once again I've teamed up with my mates Alfie and Kim, and they did a really awesome job helping me finish off the Warrior project. So yeah, Kim played the drums, Alfie played the bass, and he also played additional acoustic guitar on one of the songs, and they both did the production and everything on it, the mixing, the mastering. So yeah, I knew what I wanted from these songs as they were written years ago, and I sent them rough demos around the same time as when we started part 1, because as I said, it was all meant to be 12 songs in one album effectively. So we started officially recording in July 2022, around a month after the part 1 came out, and things were going really well. By November we had 4 out of the 6 songs recorded. However, after that we had a 3-month hiatus due to quite a few setbacks, unexpected events and things like that. Things happened during that time where we just could not get together, but we got back on it in March 2023, and all the recording was completed in June. Towards the end of the recording stage is when we sent one of the tracks over to my friend Euan, so then he recorded some guitar solos in his own home studio. And then in July 2023 we completed the mixing and the mastering, and then it's ready. So the gear that I used for this is very similar again. I used my Ibanez GM for the leads and the rhythms, and I used my ESP TL6 acoustic guitar for the acoustic parts. I used my Jazz 3 Dunlop picks, and my blues harmonicas for a couple of the tracks during the album. The amps and pedals that I used my Marshall Code 50 for the majority of the rhythms and majority of the leads. Cubase, I used my Cubase sounds from Guitar Rig 5 and my Vox wah pedal. Also I used some MIDI inputs from Cubase to make some orchestral and samples, and we also used Logic MIDI strings for track 5. Now I'm going to quickly go over the track listing, and I'm going to very briefly do this because once the EP is out I'll be doing separate track by track guide videos going more into detail on the songs. So yeah, there'll be no details here. So as I said, this is the second half of the project, 6 tracks, another 6 tracks, and it's 25 minutes long. So yeah, track 1 we have Taurus, track 2, Blue Jam, track 3, Torture Chamber, featuring my friend Euan, track 4, Your Delusion, Your Deception, the single that came out in April, track 5, Never Forgotten, Never Forgiven, and finally track 6, The Final End. Now before we end, I just want to do a quick little roundup and also some promotion before it comes out. So I feel like I've learned so much from the first release in all aspects, from recording, mixing, the artwork, and even the release itself, getting things ready for it. I feel much more prepared than I did last time. I feel like I've taken everything that I did on board, whether it was right, whether it was wrong, and I've improved upon it. That's the main thing that I wanted to do with this second part of the EP, of the whole Warrior project. And once again, I had a clear vision for what I wanted for this project to be. I wanted it, to be as professional as possible on a really small budget. And I'm so incredibly happy with how it's turned out. I appreciate all the support I've been given whilst making this project. And also, like the first part, my mission is to prove to everybody that anything is possible when you put your mind to it. And when you have the right of people around you, anything's possible. You can do anything. And I hope that this whole release and this whole video helps others to follow their passion as well. No matter how unrealistic it is, go for it, because you can do it. And lastly now, I'm just going to go through some quick promotional things, where you can hear the album and when. So yeah, obviously I've said it before, it's coming out this Friday, the 25th of August. And in the description of this video, there'll be a hyperlink, so you can pre-save it or do whatever you want to do with it. And yeah, it'll be available on YouTube, streaming, Bandcamp, everywhere. So, and also please share it with anybody who you think might like the EP, if you might be interested, because the more the merrier. I want as many people to hear it as possible, to be honest. Here on YouTube, on the night of the release, I'll be doing a live premiere for each track, starting at midnight UK time on the release date, so that's midnight the 25th. I don't think anything like this has ever been done before. It's going to be almost like a live premiere, but not like a live stream. I'll be in the chat for each premiere, so if you're around at the time, you want to watch the premieres and you want to interact with me, I'll be here, I'll be watching with you and reacting along with you. And it'd be really awesome to get your live reactions to each song and be able to chat about each song. So I really hope that you'll be able to join me live for that. As I said, I don't think it's something that has ever been done before. I've never seen anything like that on YouTube. So it'll be a first. Hopefully it'll be a first for everybody, really. So yeah, hopefully we'll get people for that. Also on Bandcamp, there'll be a limited run of CDs available. So there'll be 40 in total. So as I said, I've numbered them. The first one, 40, and on the release day I'll make sure that there are 25 available, so if you want to buy it, there'll be plenty available on day one. And also, because I've got about 15 part 1 CDs left, if there's anyone out there that hasn't got the first part and they want the second part as well, we can do a possible deal where you can get part 1 and part 2 together for a less price, basically, than buying the two together, like separately. And also, I want to make everyone aware that on the 1st of September, so that's a week after the release, there's going to be a Bandcamp Friday. And why is this important? Well, because on Bandcamp Friday, basically any sales, 100% of that sale goes to the artist. So if you want to support me in the best way possible, I'd encourage you to buy it on the 1st of September when it's Bandcamp Friday, because then that 100% supports me You know, it's cost me a bit of money to make these CDs. I've handmade them, so I'd really appreciate that if anyone did want to buy it on Bandcamp Friday. Also, upcoming things in the future, I'm going to do a live stream on YouTube playing a live set of the whole EP and other stuff. And yeah, I don't know when I'm going to do that currently. I'm thinking maybe in October at some point, but I'll let you all know. You'll know when it comes out, because I'll schedule it and it'll be there available for everyone to watch. A few weeks after the release, on the 15th of September, I'll be releasing a special complete edition version digitally, and I will also upload a full album stream video on YouTube, so you can listen to the whole project as it was meant to be, all 12 songs together, no breaks, no gaps. And also for promotional use, I'll be using the songs in the background of my videos, so this will be the last time that I actually have a video with all my old songs on it, because I'll have some of the new ones to add now. And lastly, please feel free to drop me an email in my email box if you would like to do a review, if you'd be interested in reviewing the EP. I think that'd be really awesome, and that'd be some great promotion for me, so I'd really appreciate that. And yeah, before I go, I really hope that you'll enjoy the EP. I put so much work into it. I really hope that you'll enjoy the EP, and yeah, you'll think it's cool. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. I really appreciate it, and until the next time, keep it metal.